Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to this, not recap, but like a little update of 90 Day Fiancé drama. My name is Wah, and this is Chris. And we, want to talk about what's going on. Mainly because, like, when it compiles or when it compounds on drama, then I have to say something, right? So let's just say hi to the folks that are in the room. Jasmine's in the room. Hello, Ramsterdam. Oh my gosh, it's late or early where you are. Versus is in the house. Ooh, you guys have been talking since what, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Good for y'all.
Oh, baby Pinky Pie, Mickey.
Mickey's here, and Becca is here. Let's see. I think that's it. Yo, damn, y'all have been having a whole conversation.
Good.
Okay, Astroidia is here. Dedria is here. The domestic gordita. Jessica, hello. Hi, guys. I'm going to let more people come into the room. It's 27 people. It's fine. Let it happen. Okay, so we've got some news, some noticias.
Yes. Breaking news. Chiron.
And then it's like montages of like you smiling, so it's like you smiling.
Wait, like da da da, smile. That's not news.
Okay,
you're being serious.
Breaking.
Yeah.
Hi, John. I'm out here and the weather is crazy. And can you hear me? Back to you in the studio.
Oh, that's not how I got my job. I'm a really good reporter. Anyway, welcome to the news. My name's Chris. Anyway, like I was saying, news is all around us, just like air.
Yeah.
This is like into like
I know. Definitely you were giving like nobody ever treated me kindly.
Yeah, I was.
Daddy left early. Mama was poor.
I know.
Okay. Anyways, so I just wanted to come in and let you guys know that something that, which is near and dear in my heart, even though I didn't do their episode this week, is Chantel and Pedro are getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could knock me over with a feather.
Oh. Just side note is I just wanted to bring up the fact that Chris, you look like you had a day at the beach. I knew I would have to address this, and so I'm going to. Because people are like, "Yeah, Chris, why are you like,
Just going ahead and address it."
Okay, so you guys, I like my skincare, so I'm in Los Angeles, and I did a clear and brilliant laser facial, which is, if you like know laser facials or whatever, go to like, to like a dermatologist to do it. It's sort of like a mini Fraxel. So lasered my whole face. I had to put MLO on. My lips are still very, very numb. It sort of feels like, no, there's like no filler. So it's just like laser, right? Just like laser, like little, like kind of like burn your whole face off and then just like start anew, kind of like the whole thing. And, basically I wanted to think it's supposed to be like, how you take a picture on Instagram and you like do the first filter over and it's like the Paris filter. It's supposed to like sort of have like that effect on your skin. Now you are seeing 4 hours later. So I am a little red and I do feel a little like puffy a little bit, but I also feel like maybe I'm coming off of July 4th like indulgence. That's why I look this way. I love you guys so much. Thanks. My lips are very, very numb though. Like I feel like as I drink this, it's gonna like come out or whatever. Like it feels anyway, it hurts so bad, but in a good way. Beauty is pain. Well,
all right, Soraya, we haven't seen you in a long time. And Lily, hello, welcome to the room. Inez, hello. Katie, hi. Okay, so my faves, they are going through a divorce, and it is one of the saddest things that I have had to experience from the 90-day world. Second only to from the Matt Sharp's world, Tracy Wogman dying. So I'm really kind of torn up about it. So Pedro filed for divorce 5 days after Chantel moved $257,000 from their business account to an account with her and Winter's name on it. Now, I don't know anything of why she did that. I'm just saying that I've always been Team Pedro. So it's harder for me to like be unbiased in this. I could see Chantel being petty AF and doing something like that. Chris has a whole theory about beauty queen Chantel, which she'll hopefully grace us and tell us later. But there have been so many conflicting, like, people are very polarized with them. They're either Team Pedro or you're Team Chantel. Like all the bloggers on Instagram that are dropping it, like 90 Day the Melanated Way, 90 Day Fiance, I Be Talking Trash, like all those things, they have mentioned it, and basically it's he filed for divorce. And they have apparently been separated since May 27th.
And before they separated, in fact, 5 days before, he contends that she then moved $250,000 from their joint checking account right into another checking account served by her and her sister. And so not only did he file for divorce, but he actually filed for a restraining order, and he wanted to have an emergency hearing to have that money then put back into another account controlled by court in order to figure it out, or a joint savings account, because he's so afraid of, like, I guess, some of the financial situation. So it's getting messy. That emergency thing was the court said, no, we won't do that. However, we're going to discuss that money at a later date. Don't worry about it. So we're all going to divvy up the whole situation. So that's where we are at, kind of, with them.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon Van did bring up a very good point. And Chris felt the same way too. People were like shocked that they had all this money. And I'm like, y'all, they've had 4 seasons of a reality show. And then the 2 or 3 seasons prior were on said reality show. And then they say spinoff? I meant to say spinoff. They've had their own spinoff of a reality show. And I know that they must make more with the family Chantel than they did from 90 Day Fiance. They must have. They must have done something to let that happen. And I think that also they did all those sponsorships. They're like influencers.
Yeah.
So if Anfisa could afford to support herself solo dolo, like just putting posts on Instagram about fucking fit tea or whatever, she was able to pay her bills, you can imagine what both her and Pedro are doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked up Libby, and is that what you just said? No, you said who? And Pizza. Yeah, Libby's Instagram is just chock full of like different advertisements. I mean, they're just getting paid so much, and Libby doesn't even have her own spinoff. Oh God, doesn't she want it? I mean, so does Becca. Becca prays for it every night, and then like just uploads only feed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I said only feed, but that's just because
that's
it's my. Or only feed has to exist already, right? Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. Okay, anyway, here's the thing. I feel like her family has been waiting for this moment ever since she said she was getting married, and they were like, actually, she didn't tell them. Until she didn't want to tell them that she was going to get married, until like she knew in that moment that they were never going to like Pedro, and she was right. I feel like from that moment till this moment, it's been a full circle where now they're like, well, we finally got rid of him. And it took 10 years.
I mean, I guess I just get annoyed because there's so many people who in the comments that are like, oh, he got his green card and so he's out. Oh, he got his green card and he got a real estate license and so he's out. And I'm like, you guys, he didn't just sit on his butt waiting for a green card to like fall into his lap. Like, they both were wildly popular on a wildly popular American reality TV show. They are like, if they don't get divorced, they will be one of the longest couples. Now, they're not the longest couples. There's some people from season 1 and season 2 and 3 that are still together. I mean, God bless Powell and Russ. Like, we just had to go through their ups and downs with them. But like, Pedro and Chantel have been relatively stable. And all of the drama that it felt about their relationship felt like it was only on TV. That obviously the parents did feel the way they felt, but that, even though Chantel was like running around doing terrible things, that like Pedro still had her back, even when she called his sister the B word, because she heard what the sister said incorrectly.
Yeah, that started the drama. Like, I think
Yeah.
that happened before. Was that like the first season of Family Chantel,
Yeah.
or was that even under 90 Day Fiance? Like, what has actually
No,
happened on?
no, stop. It was 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, what actually happened on Family Day Chantel? Like in all the seasons they've had their spinoff, like what has actually transpired?
I don't remember. Like, okay, so I can't tell you what happened in the very, very beginning, but I do know that it was a situation where Pedro was fed up with Chantel and her family's behavior towards his family. So they all go to the Dominican Republic to meet again, because remember the first time was from the show was Chicken Feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Chicken Feet and the
Mm-hmm.
Campo. Remember they drove 5 hours to the grandmother's house and then wouldn't get out of the car.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So that was an actual 90 Day Fiance, probably happily ever after. So season 1 of the Family Chantel was, I believe, the family going back to the Dominican Republic to make up, and they don't make up. It just is more fighting and more drama. And
Surprise, surprise.
and we get a little bit of Ja and Winter and how they feel about Ja and Winter. And then season 2 was, at the end of season 1, she jumps on his back because she's crying and upset. And he says, "It's okay, Pinky." And they just like walk off into like the Dominican sunset. And then the next season, is them in the States and her still going through nursing school. And because it took her like 10 years. Like, it's just like whatever their life tribulations. And this is where he's still so mad at her family. So they go to like a family vacation, and he doesn't want to go on family vacation with them. Like, it's just like a whatever thing. It's just the back and forth. And then we get more of Winter and Ja, Winter and Winter's boyfriend. And this
is that was Winter's boyfriend's name? Winter's
Ja.
Boyfriend's name is Ja.
Mm-hmm, JAH.
Yeah, and the River exists still.
Yeah, and River exists with that hair.
But not for long, right? Like at some point he cuts it.
No. What do you mean? 3 seasons he has that hair. He doesn't cut it till this season.
Like Felicity. Yeah, when he cuts, there's a whole new Felicity. Okay.
Yeah. And so so it's just like they've always persevered. They fought, and you would think to me that when she was disrespectful to his mother and his sister, like that would have been done. And he pushed through and forged through all of that. They even bought a house together.
Right. I mean, 5 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I think that here's the thing. It's interesting because I feel like, and I always felt like Chantel's family's vision for her was not what ended up happening, but they sure made the most of it. And I think at this point, they're like, let's cut our losses and go. Whether you think that that's right or not, I think that Chantel's family has always, for Chantel, wanted her to be the Atlanta Southern belle apple of their eye that's going to get married to someone who is of their own, like the affluent, where the family feels maybe that they are of the culture and community, like maybe like someone in the church, someone who like I mean not necessarily Black, but like definitely American and definitely a business person, someone who is definitely affluent and of like a white class, or what's the class? I don't know, like upper class, like a white collar upper class entrepreneur.
Did you
business
say white class?
Yeah, I did. I know. I'm sorry. I meant like white collar, not working, and then I meant upper class. And then it said I would say white class. Like, I know. God bless.
That's hilarious. And so
anyway, but I feel like in either way, like I don't necessarily. I definitely think it could have been a Black man. I feel like it could have been. I think they wanted someone that they wouldn't have known, like in the scene, American, and in some way, like they met, like who has a high standing in their culture because of like who they know or in their community or in their, like they want someone with like a
who's
name.
White class. They want someone who's white class.
No, not necessarily white, but Black.
Sorry,
I know I messed it up.
Sorry, I'm
but
just
not
poking
Pedro.
fun at
I know I messed it up.
Poking fun at you.
But they want someone who is definitely also a businessman and who's gonna like take care of like Chantel in a way that Pedro would have taken care of her, but I don't think would ever think of Pedro in that way. I think that he's not who they thought their daughter was going to be, and whether that actually happened for them or not, God bless. That's hilarious. And I think that what ended up happening for them is became on an obviously reality show and made a lot of money for everyone, but I don't think they necessarily think that happened because of Pedro, even though it did.
Yeah, it did. It was that like good combination. Here's the truth. I feel like I don't want to say this about them because I feel like they must watch my show or they must watch. I wouldn't want them to know that I think this about them. But I don't think that Thomas and Karen are like classy. I think that they are playing at it.
Yeah.
And like they probably have the finances to be, but they don't have the class to do it. Like the savoir faire. Like neither of them are good with fashion. Like their wigs are great after 4 seasons. We watched them 2 or 3 seasons with the actual show, and their wigs didn't get good until this current season. So I'm just like, and you live in Atlanta? What is the reason why Winter's the only person who knows how to dress herself? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yes, in Winter is super stylish, but also to remember that like Chantel is gorgeous, really beautiful girl. So I think that they also were like, she's going to marry up like Bridgerton. I think that's like straight Bridgerton. I think they probably thought like a version of Bridgerton, and she is like gorgeous. She has those boobs, seen those face, like she can just be a student for 1 billion years, because the truth of the matter is she doesn't really want to work. It doesn't really make a difference. I don't think she really wants to work. I think she wants to which probably not work and probably just like enjoy her life or whatever, and whether that includes wifely duties or not, which you've talked about.
I think it's so interesting when she talks about I'm doing my wifely stuff, and I'm like, what does that mean to you? Because it obviously means something different to you because you've been married. What do you mean? Now that you have this house, you think you're going to do wifely stuff? What were you doing before? Were you guys just like boyfriend and girlfriend? And then I don't know. But as I was telling Chris, like Pedro she doesn't want to have kids with Chantel right now because he says that she is not mentally prepared to have kids. And like, if your husband says that to you and you guys have enough money to be able to truthfully have kids, but you are worried that your wife is not mature enough to have kids.
After years of being married to her?
Yeah.
How, like, in my mind, I'm also like, but how'd you get married to someone you didn't think was mature enough to like?
I think he thought she would get there.
Yeah, she was really young.
And she just didn't get there. They met each other when they were 22. He lost his virginity to her.
I love that about him. Okay, when she has those confessionals and she talks about kids and she's like, yeah, I want kids. I can totally handle it.
No, she doesn't say that. She says like, I'm getting to the age where Pedro and I need to definitely consider us having children. Yeah, that's what she'll say. And then like he's like, no, Pinky, we don't want kids right now. And then they haven't had sex in 3 months on the episode. And I'm like, how old these 2 hot people have not been having sex with each other? Like, it's just like they went through like a huge slump. And I'm pretty sure that Chantel probably had like a meltdown because he wasn't her best friend anymore. And so, I feel like there's a certain maturity when you and your partner go through a slump. There's a certain maturity you have to understand that you and I are going to get through this. You don't need to badger the shit out of them until they give it to you. And that's what she's doing on the show right now.
Yeah.
Like on the show, she's wanting him to admit that he doesn't love her. Why would you say that to somebody that you are still planning on being in a relationship with? Like
she just wasn't, obviously. Was she just poking and prodding at him, wanting him to make the first move of something that she knew was dying before her, and she was just like, prove it. Say you don't love me anymore. Just waiting for. Is that what it is?
I don't know, but it feels like the thing you shouldn't do if you would like to truly stay with your husband. And then in that episode, the dad's like, oh, you can ask us anything. You can talk to us if you have any marital issues. And I'm like, you two don't have any marital issues.
Co thinks she'd be a good mom, and Co, so far, the only person I think that has had that opinion, and I would love you to share why.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Co, I need you to say that with your chest and prove to us why you think Chantel would be a good mother. I mean, not to say that she'd be a bad mother.
I know. I was going to ask, in what ways would she be? Good.
Yeah, I'm not saying she'd be a bad mother. I'm just like, what has she shown you on this show so far that leads you to believe that she would be able to have a child right now? That to me, I don't feel like Chantel would know how to even feed a child.
Chantel got herself on the show and got a spinoff, unless she didn't get herself stuff on the show and he's just been like spinning in her world, like, and her mom is some sort of Kris Jenner without and with like a very even less businesswoman Kim Kardashian and her that just like got this.
Yeah, I feel like her mom might just be somebody who has a hard time getting the words out. Like maybe her mind is actually quite sharp, and then just like doesn't know how to like say the words.
Do you think that she like has a business manager and thinks about making money and that kind of thing? Or do you think that she just is like her sister or her brother is like, "Hey, do you want to do this teamy thing?" They DM'd me, and she's like, "Okay."
No, I
And then,
think that she's got somebody to help her. Like I think that Chantel would be a good wife and mother if she had a housekeeper and a nanny. And I'm not saying that to demean having those things. I think she would just need that much help.
right. You've seen that because I don't watch every episode, and so you've seen their house, and you feel like their house isn't like up to snuff in the way in such someone who probably has a little time on their hands, like probably should just like keep things a little like cleaner, nicer around
Yeah,
here.
I feel like we see them in this house. How dare you let any camera crew in your home the way it is? If you have $250,000 in the bank somewhere, why have you not bought furniture? Especially if you are doing the thing where you two have a business account, so you're like an entity where no one could actually sue you, and you put all your shit through a trust or through your LLC, and your LLC brought that house. Then have your LLC buy some fucking furniture. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course, I know
Like
what you're saying.
yeah, like so if they are where they're at, I'm assuming that they have other things on the back end that are helping them do whatever, and that house is just not up to snuff. The TV is on the ground in front of the fireplace, Chris. They've allowed cameras in their home, which they would just need one weekend or like 5 days. They could hire somebody to buy a bunch of furniture for them, hire somebody to load that furniture in and put it together, to mount that TV, and to like move forward with it. And I'm not saying that it's all on Chantel to do that, but I'm like some American needs to have that vision, because I'm telling you, as somebody who has an immigrant, grew up with an immigrant, the immigrant is not going to think to do the thing.
Well, I was gonna say like,
They're go ahead.
oh yeah, is this interesting to you? Like, no one in Chantel's life, like her sister, like I know what it's like to have like an intrusive woman in your life that will just tell you what's up, and she has the ability to have two, a mother and a sister and a brother. It doesn't have to be a woman. Doesn't have to be a woman at all. But she doesn't have enough people in her life to be like, no, girl, no, no, this is not it. You need help. Want me to come? You want to go to living spaces and just like Jerome's furniture, and now she's furniture and living in like, Jennifer's leather. Whatever we need to do, we'll go to all the people's houses. We'll get all the things you need here, and we'll like stop at Pier 1 at the end. I don't know, and just like get things done here. Like I feel for you, and I want like you to have a lovely home and life. Like she has family.
Yeah.
No
I,
one's telling her what's up. Is it because she's making them all money?
I just don't know. I just don't know. That's to me the only thing I can kind of cling to is the fact that I feel like even if they just moved into that house the weekend before filming started, and so things are kind of like, give us 1 or 2 episodes with the house being helter skelter. But we are now in episode 5. I need there to be furniture.
Hmm.
I need there to be word art, but I need something, you know. Co, I see what you're saying, and I agree. That was what I was trying to say too.
Do you think she has anxiety? I have a question. She has like been in school for so long. Do you think she's someone who I always thought maybe she like was on a little bit of like, and God bless, I've been on it too, like a little bit of anti-anxiety medication. That's why her like speech is a little bit like monotone, but I understand that or whatever, God bless. And so I wonder if one of her things about like being in school for a long time is that maybe there's just like it's a little bit of a hard time for her to like have follow through and get things done.
Yeah.
And it may be because that's a hard thing to like be able to see over long-term patterns, maybe because she's so beautiful and other things that maybe it's been like not diagnosed or not talked about, but also that could be a thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I that might be a good point too. Like I do think that there's a little bit of like yeah, like I guess I would want to know how the family communicates outside of the cameras, cuz with the cameras on, they seem like the kind of people who don't communicate. Like who communicate only like on surface level stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I mean the way she's behaving in this, and I think it's because, and I've said this in my lives before, is that she's probably never seen her parents argue, because her dad loves her mom, and those two are equally yoked. Like they probably sit in a room and just talk about the most mundane things, and Karen probably makes him laugh. And you guys have heard Karen's jokes. Her husband probably loves it. He probably thinks she's just so funny and interesting. And it's just like, oh, you okay? Yeah, you guys belong together, right? And so Pedro is not what her father is to her mother. Pedro will be quick to be like, what, Pinky? What you mean? No, no, no sense. You know, like, and so she's probably not used to that.
Mhm.
Like, this person does not follow her. I don't. I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen Pedro open Chantel's door? Yeah, maybe I've seen him do stuff, but like, we know Thomas opens Karen's door. Karen doesn't even drive. So like, Karen is living a life that I would not even know.
Yeah.
So anyways, like, that's my only thought. And it just bums me out that like that he would file for divorce. I mean, it's a thing that he's filed for divorce. Like, maybe it's just the drama was too real.
Well, the checking account.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He saw that $250,000 was gone in their joint checking account, and he was like,
And in the last episode,
Laura Wasser. No, I'm just kidding.
In the last episode, she did say, "You should be grateful for me. I brought you to America,"
which probably has been something that a lot of people have also said to her about. Not, no, I'm sorry, not to her. Like, we're happy about you. Like, like that she did that to him. She did that for him.
Yeah.
And you brought him to America, and he's not doing, like, angel treat like that. And you brought him to, I bet it's like something that other people have been like.
Must have told her that.
The American dollar, honey, he harvested.
Yeah.
Our American daughter. He harvested our American daughter. You guys mispronounced it. The whole time I said daughter. You thought I said daughter.
Dollar.
See, I can't even talk. Daughter. All right. I said daughter. You thought I said dollar.
AKA says, why did he get a restraining order?
Okay, because I think that it might be for her. It could be also a restraining order to like not be around his person or persons, which could be a money thing. I'm not quite sure. That part was confusing, but it was reported by TMZ, so I said it. Actually, Starcasm, I think also had it, starcasm.net. All of the really most, I think, influential, the most like respected news sources. Oh, Celeb Dirt. Oh, honey, Starcasm, whatever, like Instagram or Twitter, horrible people we follow.
Yeah. I'm sad for them. I hope that they work this out amicably in peace. And I hope that Pedro has a regular ass career ahead of him, because like, if he's not with Chantel, I don't want to see him on my TV. And the same thing with Chantel. If she's not with Pedro, I don't want to see them on my TV. Also, like, if this is all a big hoax, bravo.
Oh, to get us be like, that's so interesting, because also this is sort of like a really messy divorce is happening in another reality show world. Okay. Great. No, someone was like, put that really in that blanket behind you, which is like my gravity blanket. It's so heavy. It's like 25 pounds. There is this, my Unorthodox Life is like a Hulu docuseries about a woman who left like, super orthodoxy, like Judaism, and became like this like fashion maven. And she had like this family or whatever, this guy's like really rich husband, like whatever, like God bless. And then she just divorced him, and they're having the messiest divorce. Like, it's just thrown back and forth. And she's like so rich, and he's like, you have to get back the Bentley. Like, you're like, you don't own the company, and I own the company, and you're fired. She's like, no, I own half the company. It's like so messy, and they're about to go into like season 3. And half of me is like, is this real, or is this just, completely orchestrated in order to have people salivating to find out the information? Is this what it is? Is this what we are doing with our lives
as a society?
That's like crazy. What's real, what's not? I always think like a little bit mildly like about the Kardashian stuff, like what's real, what's not, because even that Kardashian world, this is like, I'll go back to what we're talking about, don't even worry, but like I don't even care about that Kravis person, which is basically Kourtney Kardashian and that Travis Barker. Please. Anyway, God bless. He like had pancreatitis. I'll be almost over in this in a minute. And he almost like maybe like was died, but who knows? He was in the hospital. Everyone was like, please pray for him. They like didn't tell us what was happening for like 24 hours. And then like his daughter said like, please pray for him. And we're like, what's happening? Do you tell us? And she's like, all it said was like Travis Barker's in the hospital and Kourtney by his side. And now it's just like, oh, he had like pancreatitis or whatever. Like, it's like horrible, whatever. Like, he's totally fine. And I feel like, so did he just have like a surgery scheduled? And Kris Jenner was like, watch. No, honey, it's not just a surgery. Now when you have me, we take a little bit of grain of truth and we have a whole magic story behind it. And if she just crafting there with a team of producers, like, okay, we'll have Alabama Barker tweet, pray for my dad, and then we'll have like Courtney there in black 2 weeks after her wedding, going to the hospital.
They named that child Alabama?
Travis Barker and his first wife, Shannon Moakler.
Yeah, they named that child Alabama?
Yes, they did. They have another child. It's a son.
Georgia?
No, it's a son.
Mississippi.
Tennessee. No, I don't know.
Oh. I know at Tennessee it's a woman.
I think that's cute, but Tennessee for a boy
they call her
is
Tenny.
cute. Tennessee. I would also like that song, Tennessee, Tennessee. Tennessee.
Nobody knows that but you and I.
No. If you don't, okay, listen right now. If you guys know the song I'm singing, then you like.
I've really been real stressed, down and out, losing sleep. Although I am black and proud, problems and something desolistic, brothers and sisters keep acting up. Why does it have to be so damn tough? I don't know where I can go. And then I sunk of my soul. My grandma's black, my brother's gone. I never at once felt so alone.
Take me to another place. Take me to another place. Let me forget all the hurt and let me understand your plan. I think I might have messed up the lyrics a little bit, but just
won't you help me? Won't you help me understand?
That woman is Dionne Farris, who later on
That's Dionne Farris?
Yes, who later on would have one of my favorite karaoke songs of all time. I know what you're doing, yeah. I know why you can't forget me. I know why you say you love me, but I can't say the same.
Okay, it was great. Thank you.
Anyway,
there's 285 people in the room.
Who's liked it? How many thumbs?
We had 307 people in the room, and we started singing, and it went down to 285.
I don't blame them.
Thank you for those of you guys. Can you guys go give us a thumbs up? Also, wait, I want to read the dating doula saying. Stop touching my thing.
Oh, sorry. It's right there.
Oh, it is right there. I think Chantel... Madame. I think Chantel has been beautiful for her entire life and has likely never been expected to bring more to the table. It seems like Pedro wants and needs more substance, and Chantel needs to be adored. God damn it, dating doula. She went on a YouTuber or whatever hiatus, and we haven't had this wisdom since she left. And now she is back just dropping jewels.
100% totes magoats 100 co-sign this. I feel it in my bones that you're right.
The dating doula. I mean, just come now. Oh, you guys are like, bravo. Get it, Chris? Bravo.
I did miss it. Yeah, it is land. I said place.
Yeah, anyways. So also Soraya, I haven't seen you in forever, and like, hey girl, hey. And then you guys, Shannon and Van is in the house. Also, JJ Video Reacts. You guys know JJ Video Reacts, and you guys know Shannon Van. These are two YouTubers here on the YouTubes that do recaps of shows, and so I want to highlight them. There's 292 people in the room. Please check Shannon Van, not in a minivan, but in Vancouver. And then JJ Video Reacts. I don't know, just go on my other video and look where I pinned her channel. Okie dokie. And to all of our moderators, we've got Mickey, we've got Ramsterdam. Who else is here? Those are the moderators that are here. But then we also have people like Summer Dragonfly, Krishan Christina, Baba Baby. Oh, Baba Banky is a moderator. Soraya, like AK versus, the OGs who come in all the time. You're just moving this thing.
I just want to make sure that we got all the things, and you're right. And everyone that liked our singing, I'm absolutely, and I am going to name. I'd love to name a son Tennessee. That's so cute.
All right. So shout out to everybody that I did name. If you guys are watching and you normally do talk, and you're just like washing dishes, so you can't put your thing in. I see Miriam's in the house too. Okay, so yeah, anyways, that's what's going on with them. We spent 34 minutes talking about them. We can go back to talking about them, but I also want to talk about something that's even worse. Not even worse. It makes me sad. It's just Paul and that baby.
Pierre.
Yeah.
And the other baby who is younger than Pierre, who was in the foster home, and Karine. Ethan and Karine, who is somewhere, God bless, as well. I mean, this is a probably, I think the most toxic, if you will, in that kind of way, like in the subjective way I'm gonna use it now, of like the worst relationship we've seen, especially over time in this.
It devolved like a love after lockup relationship.
Yeah, it did.
And it's because of Paul being like this person. You know what I'm saying? So like Paul and Karine have had an abusive relationship. Paul, okay, let's just go back and say that Paul should not have ever been allowed to bring anybody to the United States.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Paul should never have been allowed to bring any baby into this world.
Oh, that. But I'm saying he should not have been able to like legally bring anybody into the United States because he does not
have the money or
does,
have the
resources, and he also has like really bad anxiety, depression, and some other form of like mental health issue that his mother knows about. That it's like, well, you know how Paul gets. Paul treat Karine right, like Paul just doesn't. And he got somebody who was so poor from another country to like fall in love with him, but they didn't even speak the same language. And time after time, he insulted her on national television.
Yes.
And I think because they didn't speak the same language, and because she probably, God bless, wanted to get to America to have a better life, and like stayed in a relationship with him, got pregnant, stayed in a relationship with him.
Got on television. Like, also it's like, we obviously know that, unfortunately women will stay with men, not even when they get on as any sort of like television show. But can you also imagine being in a situation where it's like everything's horrible, but every 6 months there's a bunch of cameras that follow me around, and suddenly I'm like kind of a celebrity in America? I'm not even like, to go from the extreme of like not being and then being a celebrity, like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, like, no one can handle it. Like Karine, Brittany, no one can.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Mel OD for the Cash App. We appreciate it. We appreciate the little tips. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys would like to give us a tip, you could do so on Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. You could do so on like, the little thank you on YouTube. So do that. But yeah, I agree with you saying, Chris. I think you're absolutely correct. Like, people want to be like, well, if she wasn't in love with Paul for the right reasons, she should have just like walked out of that relationship. Paul was so crazy, she should have walked away. Karine went from being a literal nobody to having tons of people reach out to her and tell her how much they love her and how awesome she is. She pushed through and learned English.
She's 19, right?
She was like 20 or something.
Okay.
Still super young. And like this American man who she doesn't quite understand and probably doesn't get like why he's doing the things that he's doing, because she doesn't know people who behave like that. And by the time she realized like how bad it was already too late.
Mm-hmm.
He had so much time to like provide for her an apartment, and then he brings her to some like one room shack in like a weird trailer park and expects her to be happy and live and then like look at her like, well, at least here you have air conditioning. She's like, yeah, we may have had like a 2-bedroom home or whatever, and like, barely put together type situation at my parents' house, but I was surrounded by people who loved me, people who I can communicate with, and everything that I've ever known. So don't tell me the situation here is better. And then she ends up doing sex work here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all, Karine was all on OnlyFans showing her hoo-ha to the world.
A lot of it.
Yeah. Like, in the shower, or like around her stuffed animals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she came here and had to do sex work in order to try to like make up for all that Paul wasn't doing. And I'm sure he made her feel terrible about that. And we know behind the scenes they fought. He's bitten her. She's hit him. And so eventually, because of videos that ended up surfacing, they lost custody of the kids. Now, I don't know if their divorce is finalized. I don't know if they're even divorced. I don't know what happened, but they lost custody of those kids. And she moved somewhere. And I don't know where she is, but she's no longer with him. And earlier in June, it looks like, from what I'm gleaming, the 2 boys were in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Paul must have had some kind of visitation rights or something, because he took Pierre and left.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone ended up calling, I think his mother, someone called CPS on him, or filed a missing persons report.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up saying that he did not kidnap his son. He just took him on an extended work trip.
Looking for work trip, job hunt. He was looking for work around the state.
Yeah. So they filed the missing persons like 4 weeks after he had Pierre and probably wasn't contacting anybody and wasn't being communicative. And we all know the man is unstable, so you never know what the fuck. So somebody called CPS. I believe it was his parents. And the baby, he finally bought, I keep calling the baby, but it's not the baby. It's the oldest, the 3-year-old. Yeah, Pierre. Finally brings Pierre back to Kentucky, and the Pierre is put back into foster care, the same home that he was, I guess, taken from. And Paul says he didn't kidnap him, and that, and then Paul left his mother to handle CPS and the foster care system because he just needs time to like work through his feelings about the situation. And now his parents are filing for custody of Pierre and Ethan.
I disagree. I don't want them to have them. I mean, like, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so like whatever, but I do not want those people to have those kids, and I'll tell you why. I don't see the greatest job you did with yours, and now you're older. So I don't see you making any wise choices, truthfully, on how you've handled him so far, what's happened since. I definitely don't feel like you're going to be great with those kids either, honey. I honestly feel like let's get those kids to like a good foster family, hopefully. Like I mean, I'm not
I'm
saying
like, send them babies back to Brazil to be with their grandmother, who's going to actually take care of them and love them in a way that,
I
whatever.
would love that to happen. Is that like I don't know how that works in like custody like situations. I would love them to have a lawyer and then like have a voice in this.
I mean, what I'm saying is that the two parents, like Paul's parents, could get custody of the kids and then just like take them to Brazil.
They're not going to do that, though.
I know they're not, but that's what I would love for them to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust them to do that. She's going to be like, no, I don't, none of those, no, I don't.
They can't grow up in a little shack in Brazil. They're better off here with father and me. No.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
They raised Paul, but here's my thing about it, is that these two people, I don't know, are they boomers? Like,
they're older. Oh, no, I don't know.
I don't know what they are. But
Maybe
what
you're
I'm
right.
saying
Maybe
is they
boomers.
might be boomers. And like, here, I was raised by a boomer. And by boomers. And like, boomers can't be trusted. They have no emotional responsibility over their children. And they have a child, Paul, who has special needs. Like, Paul may not be like completely non-functioning. I mean, but the truth is he's not functioning.
Yeah.
But like he's not, they probably didn't realize that Paul had an actual mental or whatever problem until like he was well into high school, or probably afterwards. And it feels like the mother is probably the only person who like dealt with Paul. I felt like once the father realized that this was the son that he had been waiting for, he was like, oh no, throw him back. It's okay, I don't need him. Because his dad owns like a his dad owns like a hardware store. The dad's
working, so it was on the wife. Absolutely. Yeah. The wife was supposed to take care of the kids. She had Paul. She doesn't know how to do with Paul. They don't talk about things that we're talking about, like mental health or anyone on the spectrum. Like none of that's understood. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, it's just he really needs to be diagnosed, and he really needs some hardcore intensive therapy. And listen, kids can't be around in that, and I don't trust his parents. Yeah.
I mean, here's the truth. Like, Renee says, are Karine's parents any better? Yes, from what little I've seen with them on TV, yes.
You don't know. I don't know for sure.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna put my thing in the yes column. I guess I'm like, the reason why I say that about boomers is because like I feel like boomers were raised by people who had to deal with World War II or like whatever, and so they just got raised in a real hard time, and some of them like barely got raised, and so when they all had their kids, some of the boomers like had to go to work when they were like 8. You know what I'm saying? Like depending on like what their family circumstances were, like the boomers had it hard growing up, and so then they were in turn just as emotionally unavailable and like whatever, but then they were able to buy homes and do all the stuff that we are not able to do as millennials. And
my dad started selling shoes at 14. He always talks about a Tom McCain was a shoe warehouse. Tom McCain.
Your dad's a boomer?
Someone who was born in when?
I don't know. I thought he was young. I thought your dad was born in like 1960.
No, my dad was born in 1951.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, sorry.
So
why?
Yeah. So Tom McCain shoes, and so like he has like, so to this day he lied, so he could work, and he wanted to buy a car at 16, so that's why he started to get a job. But till this day, he's still very good at knowing whether a shoe fits or not. I'll be like, Dad, does this shoe fit? And he'll like look down and be like, No. Great, yes. Like, he's done me a wealth of things where I'm like, "This shoe fits." He's like, "It's too big." I can, like, there's, like, scuffing there. I'm like, "Ugh," and then he's like, I'll look down and be like, "This shoe fits!" And I'm like, "It's so tight." He's like, "No, it doesn't." I'm like, "Alright." So bad.
Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate it's unfortunate.
You can't put down a whole generation as bad parents. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say right now, I have a boomer dad and I love him. So like, boomer people, no, definitely boomer parents can be trusted. Absolutely, I disagree with Wall, so I'll put my thing in now because I was raised with my dad and I definitely can be trusted. But what I'm definitely saying is, what's his face? His
I'm gonna
name?
sit back. I'm gonna make
What's
a.
his
I'm
name?
gonna make
That
a.
person's family can't be trusted. What's his name? Pierre. No. Who are we talking about? Karine. Paul's particular parents. The particular parents of Paul. Not for me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Leslie. I will make a joke on my channel if I want to. I'm sorry if you've been a long time subscriber and you've never had the opportunity to like send me something and this is my first interaction with you. I do apologize for your experience when it comes to that. But I will make a joke on this channel and I will stand by my joke.
Okay.
So the rest of you who understand what I was saying, please, what's before boomers?
Boomers created latchkey kids, LOL. That is so true that I can't even. I'm gonna like die. That's like, listen, I'm awake. First of all, thank you. You are a little bit of a genius, okay? And so just like keep that, watch that. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, tweet that, honey, because that is it. Tweet it, and then if you can tag me in that tweet, I'll retweet it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Anyways, they're saying, what is
People
it?
love it. People love
I
you.
know the boomer joke was the quote of the night, in my opinion. I mean, thank you, AK. Thank you, AK. Oh, the silent generation.
That was the generation that raised our dad, right?
Yeah. So my grandmother was that. She was born in like the 20s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was born in the 20s too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is that like being born in the 20s? Like, what is that experience
What
like?
movie can we talk about? Like, what movie is that? Is that Great Gatsby?
Is that Untouchables? Oh yeah, it's Great Gatsby.
Or Gangs of New York?
No, it's let's just stick with Great
Okay.
Gatsby. It's Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like it's all JJ says I was definitely latchkey.
Oh, so was I. I talked about this today. Like literally, this is what I said to him. I was getting my facial. You know, I did this laser facial. I already talked about it, but I was like, oh my god, you guys, I mean my doctor. I was like, my best friend was TV and food. My brother and sister. I would come home from school and just enter Chris, open mouth, insert food, watch TV. Rosie O'Donnell, TG, like whatever, like, after school things, like whatever it was. Like a lot of I Love Lucy, a lot. But like
Gen
Saved by
X.
the Bell.
Gen X, go ahead.
Saved by the Bell. Someone tweeted at me. Oh, is this you, Abina Osei?
It says, I think Gen X are the supreme generation, but I'm biased. My dad was born in 1923 and is still going strong. Oh, so Linda, you're a boomer. She's like, boomer slander. I will have none of it.
Yeah. Listen, boomers
Linda,
get things done.
Linda,
also,
are you kidding me? I love my dad.
Also, yeah, listen, when there's a holiday, we all are trying to go to a boomer's house.
Yeah.
Yes. So listen, and by the way, if there's a younger boomer, 1964, is that what you said? Wait, what's
I thought your dad was 1960, but you're right. So that still would be a boomer too.
Yeah, but like I want someone who was like an older man who's basically a boomer mentality, because I don't need to have emotional conversations anymore, but I definitely just need you to be there all the time, wake up every morning, and like nobody's gonna be there at night. Oh, stability in a home,
Aspasia, that's a jump. That's a gap. 35, 37, that's 50 years.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, hi Susan. I'm a boomer in 1957 and I knew you were joking. PS, my parents were great. May they rest in peace. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, anyways, I mean, whatever. Just kidding. I love my dad. If you guys follow me on Instagram at any moment, you know that my dad is literally my favorite person. So just whatever.
And everyone knows in her family. So yeah.
It's quite awkward.
Yeah.
So I just want the best for those boys, and I would hope that they get into a lovely home. And if that's with the mom, then that's with Paul's mom. If that's in Brazil, I mean, I don't know.
We forgot also one thing, which is that in a very weird, mysterious way, there were videos uploaded to this is what was described as a pro Karine Instagram account and then taken down that we watched. It was basically three short snippets with captions, and one was basically looking into a house, and that was captioned "Paul's a horrible father." One was her showing an arm that was bit and her crying,
Mhm.
and then one was Pierre on her singing like ABCs and then her being like, Pierre will only like sing for mommy. That's something that also happened in this story. At this point, that's I guess why right now I'm just leaning towards like, what's that foster family like? And do they have some older siblings that will like teach these kids like what it's like to be in a normal household with like, I don't know. But here's the thing.
Do they want to join our live, or they're going to continue to just talk loud? As
They
though
don't know. They don't know what our lives are. Lives or lives.
I do want everybody to just understand that you, even though you're not here as much, this is still a house. When there's the lights are on here, everybody needs to be quiet outside. Anyways, I don't know where Karine is. I don't know where she is.
Fala.
Oh, fala Karine,
Fala,
fala
fala,
Karine,
Karine.
fala Karine, fala Karine, fala Karine, fala. Oh, old school, Martita, old school.
Wow. If you know what we just did, then yeah, like
Oh my god! If you know what we just did, drop any emoji you can get your hands on. If you know what we did, if you know the Fala Karini song,
wait, go back into what's a back in time emoji? Like a clock?
or the sands, the time,
Yeah. The
the
sands of time.
the sands of time. The,
Yeah,
like,
do that.
hourglass,
The
hourglass.
hourglass. And then also, Medium, we love you so much. Remember like when she came on, it was so great.
Yeah, she was great.
I know she's like also like being the saint here, being like this video, everyone, which is true. If you haven't yet, we enjoy a like.
I love it on my end. It's like you got this elbow cough. They're just putting the emojis, but I guess it doesn't look good vibes. Oh, look at you guys. Look at you guys.
Aw.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the hourglasses. Moni in the middle. Hey, in the middle. What? Moni in the middle. In the middle. Hey, Moni in the middle. Nah, I love that. All right. Cha Cha, hello. Jessie J, so many names. Samantha, hi. Sally, hi. Ordered Steps. Why am I singing and dancing?
Yeah. Mhm.
Jamie, thank you. Alrighty. So love it, love it, love it. But anywho, that's what's
What?
happening in the 90-day world. What else is happening? Chris?
Well, should we talk to people?
Do you want to talk to people?
I mean, I kind of want to talk to people because here's the thing. We just went live in 30 minutes to talk about not an actual episode, but just like a random 90-day blobbity blue. And we've had a lot of fun and we've gotten back in time and like obviously talk to people. And we just want to know, uh, that we love you. We appreciate you because like you just like are now all in a room together talking to us and like, you know, we want to be able to continue to do like this kind of stuff. We just like love doing it, and we like doing it together, as well as separately. Like whatever. And so we have been working on a little podcast for you all.
We have been.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't actually recorded anything yet, which is something
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to do this week. And this week I mean tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But we have been talking to people, deciding on like how we're going to invest in it, and what it's going to look like, because it's a very different world than YouTube. And on YouTube, like we do this just for the love of it. Like we don't make monies on this.
Well, no, Melody just cash apped you. Thank you, Melody.
Thank you so much, Melody. Like, but we don't like. We're not bussing it down. Like none of us are quitting our day jobs. Like this is not even gas money anymore because gas is so expensive now. It's just not gas money. So like we literally do it for the love of it. And we thank you guys for being so good to us and supporting us. And we hope that if you love a podcast that you watch our podcast. So what it is we're going to talk about docu-series, like actual docu-series. So whereas 90 Day Fiance is a docu-series, technically it's more of,
we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Not 90 Day Fiance, but maybe spinoffs, maybe like whatever other shows.
Love it a lot. We could talk about anything that is a docu-series or kind of thing we can talk about. And obviously reality shows are spinning towards like, yeah, maybe like having more of a real feel, which we really enjoyed. Plus, there are so many great documentaries that like are on streaming services that we like love and like want to talk about with personalities and characters. And so that is what we are aiming. But I'm gonna say right now, if you that we are because this is real time, we will figure out all the answers. Right now, we are like considering our options for audio editing and platforms and podcast networks. So, having said that, if you have any ideas for us, or if you think that you know someone that, or a podcast, any of those people that you think that would be into that, we probably would love to hear that advice from you.
And I can give you our email. It's sweeties
Because that's the name of our podcast.
gmail.com. So we're gonna start off slow, right? Because we don't have the time. No, we're gonna start out slow because we have to figure out how this new element is going to fit into our lives. And I am wary of putting too much into it and having no yield. And so once the crops start to become a little bit more bountiful, we'll be able to buy more seed and more land in order to plant, to put more. You know what I'm saying? Well, if the harvest is bountiful, then we'll buy more land and plant more seeds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like when you're playing Monopoly, if you make a little money on rent, you can buy a property. And if you make a little more money, you can buy a house. You make a little more money, you can buy 2 houses. And after that, a hotel. And then you're on the whole goddamn board, honey. You're
Yeah.
in the whole thing.
So we're going to take it slow like that. So when people are like, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys do that? Like, I mean, unless you would like for me to completely quit doing YouTube, which I won't because I like it, then I won't be able to indulge in that. But anyways, there's that. So, hi. I emailed, put the email in there so you can.
We're into Our Father on Netflix. I'm into The Deep Down on Hulu. We're watching Alone. There's a lot of great options. Love After Lockup, Love in Paradise. Don't worry, we are writing it down. Like, are y'all putting the podcast on Patreon? I'm willing to pay $7 to $10 a month for podcasts every 2 weeks.
Well, that's motivating.
It is motivating.
So what we're planning on doing is starting off just with the free feed for anybody and trying to see if we can get advertisers and stuff. And then again, like I said, if it's bountiful, if the harvest is aplenty, then we can be a little bit more giving of our time to do some Patreon stuff. And so to answer Lily's question, Lily, not in the beginning. But we might try to do something with that, but the video version would be Patreon only. Because we would then have to upload it to a separate thing. So we're not going to create a YouTube video. We're not going to create a YouTube channel, at least not yet, and put our faces and our voice on YouTube for people to see. It would be through Patreon only. But maybe we could do like snippets to try to bait people to go over to Patreon. But that's all future talk.
The truth is, we're open. We are very open to just putting our love and light and our intentions out into the universe. Is what we've been working on and talking to people about and trying to like get people's like opinions, and see what like feels organic and good for us. So
yeah. And Lily, if you think of that, I did not watch the Walter Mercado documentary, then you don't know me. If you did not think, I mean, are you talking about the documentary, the one that came out like last year? Yes, I watched that. It was great.
I don't even know what it is. I'd watch it.
Do you know who Walter Mercado is?
No, I wish I did.
Okay. So in the 90s and in the 80s,
okay,
there was a gentleman who spoke Spanish, not sure what country he's from.
Okay.
Who was on the Liberace. He was giving Liberace. He was giving Elton John. He was giving Prince. Okay. And he was a TV psychic, who was so inspirational to people that he created an empire. And with that empire came capes, wigs, pantsuits, rings, and necklaces. He looked like a butch power corporate lesbian with a cape.
Wow, so many things I love. It's like the perfect meld of like a Miss Cleo turned like guru, somewhat. Oh my God, that sounds great. That sounds, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I mean, he was so inspirational. And his shows just got bigger and bigger. Like his like it's like there would be like tigers. There's like pictures. I feel like there's pictures of him with a tiger, the Liberace of astrology. I feel like
Mhm.
there were pictures of him with like fire behind him. Um, like
Sorry, what do I not need to do? Talking about the podcast? Anyway, I want to know.
but yeah. Anyways, there's that. And then he ended up being broke because people stole money from him. His like
Did he ever come out?
manager.
Was he out?
No, but in the documentary, I believe they asked him if he was out, and he was.
Is
Just
he still alive?
I think he died.
Mm-hmm. The documentary has like an interview with him.
Yeah. The documentary was put out post mortem, but
he had like some sort of.
But he was in it.
Oh wow.
And he.
Okay.
Yeah, he ended up having things stolen from him by his like manager or something.
Mm-hmm.
And his sisters are trying to like fix that.
Mm-hmm.
But because Walter didn't read any of the documentation because he was just like an artist, he was just like a feeling creature of the universe. He didn't read any of it and signed his like shit away. And so basically they would like give him money and say like, this is how much you made, but he was making so much more than that. So much more than that. And like he just lost out on so much money. And then when he tried to get in control, they were like, nope, sorry, you gave it to us. It's us, it's ours. And he just had no idea. He just had no way of like working through it.
Man, he also reminds me of, and I can't think of that man, but who was the workout gentleman that like?
Oh, Phil? No.
That was like sweating to the oldies.
Yeah. It's not Phil. It's something. It's not. I want to.
Oh, and then he had a little thing where we haven't heard from him in a second. Sweating. Is it sweating to the oldies? I can't think of.
It was in the 80s.
I know. Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons. Yeah, it's like Richard Simmons meets a Miss Cleo, kind of like with like, but like because Richard Simmons had a whole empire too. I mean, there's so many sweat with the oldies. There's and like I think there was like a whole diet empire. Like Simmons.
Oh,
yeah,
and
like
that someone stole from him too.
So here's the thing. This is where we don't know. Like right, that gentleman had like a workout studio and a bunch of people like were going to him and he had like reached out and was like helping people and suddenly like he sort of became a recluse in his like Bel Air mansion and to the point where there was a welfare check that had to happen in his house. Like police had to be like, can we see you? Are you okay? And like his whether like a housekeeper or someone of the house manager came to the door and was like he just doesn't want to be seen, doesn't really want to talk. There's like he just I think went from being super social to a sudden shut in where a lot of people in his life like were like but also someone who was like playing a character and was just so inspirational suddenly just maybe turns off and is like I can't be a worldly person anymore. And like how many people probably wanted parts of his positivity, wanted probably to like have a daily Richard Simmons moment for their like own when you help people change their lives through like losing weight and stuff like that, like it takes an emotional toll to like have to give a lot in that I mean I don't know, but like in that situation if you are so open. And I wonder if he just I think maybe like hurt himself or broke a leg or just suddenly was like I can't possibly give anymore. I just gotta like
back out.
Yeah.
Tasia Eves, thank you so much for the PayPal. Oh, this lovely note. Thank you. Oh, ordered steps. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ordered steps. This is the first time. She has been watching me for a long time. She put it like she knew follow Karine.
What's is ordered steps her name?
Yeah, on here. She is this person.
Oh,
ordered steps.
Sorry.
But yeah, she put an hourglass.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, that's what that's where we are. That's where we are.
Oh yeah, the podcast. So Sweeties is what it's called. That's what we're doing. We're so super excited. So you are the first people to officially hear that from our lips besides
Gabby knew.
Okay, well Gabby works. Thank God Gabby also has done work for both of our channels and had to do our Sorry, Gabby, yes. Gabby, you do. Okay, yes. We also, I guess, talk to Maddie and Jake every week. Listen, you're not the only people to know. Okay. But this is the first time we're saying publicly what's happening. I like, we had some people that have made us some graphics and also who have podcasts that were like, hi, can you help us? Please, sir and ma'ams. give us stuff.
Patrice, I don't have super chat, but you can do thank you.
What's a thank you?
It's on here.
What happens?
I don't know.
Is it money?
It's you can give a money thing. I
What's this? So you can't. It's a different thing besides super chat.
I guess.
This is what I think of Boyz II Men. And I thank you when I felt I had enough. You never turned away. You were right there.
And I thank you.
Thank you.
It's a super thanks, whatever that means.
Oh, I wonder if it's wait.
Look.
Is it after buy a super thanks for directly support? Wait,
It's after the video.
Oh yeah, just after the video.
Yeah, super chat is only in.
What's the difference of like having one not the other?
Well, super chat is only in the
Live?
the live, and so a thank you now is just like a way to tip directly through YouTube. It's just another way for YouTube to take your money.
But
right?
you added one and not the okay. I get it.
Well, the reason why is because a lot of the international audience, they don't have, they're unable to send Cash App and Venmo and all those things. And so I put a thank you on there for them to do so. But if anybody else wanted to do it, they can. It's just that I prefer this method. But if you prefer to do it through YouTube, so that YouTube can take
YouTube
30%.
can take their YouTube stake.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
anyways.
I know that. Well, learn something new every day. Yeah, but we're gonna always sing anytime we can. And okay.
So that's what we're doing. That's what's up. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. So we're gonna let you guys go. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our evening together. We are people who still have sleepovers. I think about that all the time because I put something on my Instagram about like having anxiety when people asking me to stay over. And you remember I used to get like anxiety, not anxiety, but I'd be like, "Are you sure you want me to spend the night?" And you're like, "Yes, I told you could stay the night." Remember?
No, only because you also lived in my house for like a month and like like in Huntley, so it's like there was never a time in which I didn't think
20 years.
I know. So when would you have not spent the night at my house? Or I never knew. I never knew you had
anxiety. I just get anxiety about like you like might have said it. Here's what it is: people say things that they don't mean all the time, and I didn't realize this as a young person, and so as an adult, it gives me anxiety because I feel like there's a whole smattering of people who will say, "Yeah, come over. Yeah, do this. Yeah, do that," and then when you actually come over and then do it, they're like, "Well, I didn't mean it. I was just trying to be nice," and then they did it. And like I've heard that on the back end. Not that I've done that, but like so now it gives me anxiety. And I don't trust people when they say that they're going to do something. Like I had a friend who was like, "Yes, you have 3 weeks off. You can use my pool anytime." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Thank you for saying that." And didn't say anything. And then like the second week they were like, "Are you going to come use my pool?" I said you could. And I was like, "Yeah, I know you said you could. I just didn't think you were telling me the truth." And I had to like explain my anxiety with that. And then this person was like, "No, come to my pool." I was like, "Okay, great."
I'm gonna say this is so funny. I agree. I don't like staying at someone else's place. That's true. So when anyone feels comfortable enough to stay in my place, I feel a little bit of like an honor about it. Like, oh, good. I'm glad you feel comfortable. I'm glad that things are comfortable enough that you're just like you want to spend the night here because like, oh, I love my bed. Now here's the thing. I do have a great bed. So I don't blame people for liking my bed. I know my bed's great. But so when other people agree with me, it's a little validation. Like, yeah, it's great here, right? Now, that's just me. I also mostly want like I wouldn't want someone to spend the night only if I had something to do, like obviously big the next day. Like like but even and that's mostly if they're spending the night in my like if for some reason like we're literally having a full sleepover, like bedsies, or because I kick and I like stretch and I kick.
Yeah, she can't sleep. It's like a thing. So Shannon Van says, my group of friends still have sleepovers except for me. I've never enjoyed it. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Shan, let me talk about you. No, Shan, I'm sorry. If I were you, I would just like send them like messages like every like 5 minutes, be like, don't you talk about me. Don't you guys be talking about me. When I come over there, I'm going to freeze all your bras.
Soraya, thank you so much for the Cash App.
Oh,
I
honey.
appreciate it, girl. I'm glad you're okay because I haven't seen you in a minute. So I'm glad that everything is on the up and up.
Did you ever play Lattice of Feather Stiff as a board?
Yes. But you know, that was when I like entertained the idea of having more than one friend at a time.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Did you ever put anyone's like a sleeping girl's arms in warm water?
No.
See if they pee their pants?
I wasn't allowed to go to sleepovers. So like I went to one and then we played that one thing. Or I went to one and then I didn't sleep over. I got picked up.
Did you want to get? They wouldn't let you?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't miss the night.
I was. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was someone who would like go to someone's house, and then this is like horrible. I hate my life, but I would go to someone's house, and then I'd be like, you know what? I'm good. I can go home now. And I would like have to call my dad. I like, like at 9, be like, I think it's time. Their parents are like, Chrissy, where you're going? And I'm like, no. Like Chrissy, like it's really dark, and then suddenly would hear just like like, oh, I'm good. I'm out. I got my rides here. My ride is my dad.
That's great. I mean, that is great that your dad. I couldn't even go. I mean, I would go. I would have to be like, I can't spend the night. And it's. I mean, I feel like I don't think I would let my kids go to sleepovers either. I'm like, yeah, I don't want anybody diddling with my kids at their house. I don't fucking trust anyone. I don't want an older brother. I don't want a cousin. I don't want an uncle. I don't want the dad. I don't want the mom. I don't want an older sister. Like I am just worried about that. So until my child could like defend themselves, like maybe at like
bear spray
16.
I'm just kidding. Go be washed alone.
Yeah, maybe at like 16. But it would be like it would be very selective. Like in my immigrant parents. Oh yeah, my dad was like sleepover. Yeah, it was like the only house I could sleep over would be like Dorothy's house. And even then it was just like, it would be.
Why was that okay?
I think it's because my dad like recognized their parents, something about them that he felt was like good.
Were you ever uncomfortable in their house for any reason?
No, but I lived in a kind of neighborhood where like they would specifically drive, but we would drive by people's houses and wave. So like if my dad ever drove by Dorothy's house and any of the people were in front, he would pull over and be like, hey. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing, like they would come through our neighborhood. We lived on streets that were like this. So like if they would come down our street, like they saw the garage open, and they would like walk, they would honk. Mm-hmm. And I would know that it was somebody just trying to like acknowledge, like, hey, Lino's. So I lived in that kind of a neighborhood.
Yeah, that's so it was ideal.
So it was just like, okay, you can do that. The parents aren't weird. The parents speak every time. And I mean, that doesn't indicate that they're not abusive, but like,
yeah. You're like, he wanted to look people in the eyes. Just be like, hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Beep, beep.
Yeah. So, anyways, Order Step says, I don't care what time it is. I'm coming home to sleep in my own bed. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I do. This is the only person whose sleepover whose house I sleep over. All right. We're going to leave. Thank you guys so much for listening to us in Amsterdam. I don't know what time it is in Greenwich Mean Time or in Europe. So in case you guys didn't know, Amsterdam is in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's what a pun means.
Amsterdam is a Dutch individual.
Stroopwafels. Oh,
And we just found out that Amsterdam is also Gen X.
Oh, so, yeah.
That's important to know too.
Amsterdam, this is my dream. I really do want to come to Amsterdam, and I want to hang out with you. Well, I could be there or not. I want to go and get fresh stroopwafels with you. And then I want to go get fries, and then I want to drizzle whatever sauces. And then after those, we'll go and get the Belgian waffles.
And Amsterdam, if we ever came there, you would not be responsible for like giving us an international tour.
I've already been there, Amsterdam. So, just so you know, honey, I'm international, honey. I can go to a museum. And also, I love you so much, but don't worry, you wouldn't. But yeah, also I've been there. I love it.
Does anyone know where Karine is? Because I'm awake. I'm awake.
You know that? When the first moment I said it, I was like, that's why I said I'm awake. You're a genius. Because it's a good name, and they had a great comment. Mm-hmm. You didn't know? This is like straight like Simpsons. Like,
oh my God.
Bart would always call Moe's like thing, and is like, hi, can you see if someone's there for me? And like Moe's like, oh, and it's like Bart's like, I'm awake, and I'm awake. Okay, is then I'm awake here, and Bart's just like, you'd be Moe. You just like fall for it.
I just did not know at all. I did not know at all. Now I know. Yeah, do another holiday and vlog it like you did the London trip. Yeah, London was great. We got 8 people to come and see us in London. That shit is like
a lot.
Great.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're leaving for real now. Okay, say bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
All right, you guys, this is Wahima and signing off. And I don't know what my outro is. Y'all remember to have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I know why you're down.